Greetings again, Spartans. It's been a while since my last little rant. Um, Almost a couple weeks, I think, now. And it's not that I haven't been keeping track of things, it's just it's Christmas time. Lots of things have been busy. Haven't really been able to come on here with my views on a lot of things. So, because of that, this one's going to be a little bit quick. Got a lot of stuff to cover, so we're just going to kind of hit the highlights. I have been keeping notes. So let's just run through this real quick. In the past almost a couple weeks, let's see. Trump has said if you have $1 billion to invest, you get permits fast track. That's environmental permits, everything. You just get boom, boom, boom. Gonna go on through there. Doesn't matter what you're gonna do. You got $1 billion, we're gonna make it happen. Canada is not just gonna sit back and take it. Trump says that Canada is letting fentanyl kill Americans and we should make them the 51st state. And they have a bunch of water and oil that we could really make use of. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Jesse Waters also likes that idea. Fox News, you know that guy, that a-hole. Yeah, that's very close to a declaration of war, don't you think? Kimberly Guilfoyle, Don Jr.'s ex-fiance, current fiance, leaving, is now the ambassador to Greece because apparently to be an ambassador, you just need to be involved in a scandal when one of Donald's children gets caught messing around with some other girl. So then you get an ambassadorship and you go away to Greece. It's going to be a Fox News presidential cabinet with about 20 or so of the ones that have been put up for nomination have either been commentaries or frequent guests on Fox News. So we're going to rule by Fox News, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're happy with that. Musk says that we should delete the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the IRS, and the SEC. Basically, anyone that questions what he does with his money and how much he pays with his taxes, we should just get rid of them. We don't need all that. Cinema and Manchin. Their votes sunk Biden's candidate for the National Labor Board and therefore will allow Trump to place someone else on there when he comes into office. Why is that important? Because the National Labor Board, and this is a part of government that I didn't really fully understand either, is one of the major things that have to do with labor and union disputes between employees and unions. And if you have a bunch of them that are pro-union on there, things tend to be more fair. If you have a bunch of them that are not pro-union on there, they tend to suck for everybody, which is what happened during Trump's last term in office. And Kari Lake, the 2 or 3 times defeated person out in Arizona now, she ran for governor, she lost. She ran for senator, she lost. Well, now that she's kissed up to Trump enough, she's going to be appointed the head of the broadcast. Apparently, it's the only broadcast media that the U.S. government itself puts out, called The Voice of America, which once I heard the name, I kind of remembered it, but not really. So it's probably not all that important, but basically she's just going to be on there spouting a bunch of MAGA Trump propaganda all the time. And, so I mean that's just another propaganda outlet. It's basically Russian television now. Russian state TV is what that's going to be now. An Inspector General report found that there were no undercover FBI agents at January 6th, like we already knew. There were a couple of dozen paid informants, but a paid informant is not an FBI agent. There tends to be a little bit of a difference in that. They might have even paid informants. I think it was just informants. I don't know. Anyway, not FBI. It's another conspiracy theory we can put to rest, people. Yes, Trump supporters attacked the Capitol. That's what happened. You saw it, and that's what happened. Amazing that your eyes actually told the truth. Kristi Noem, the person that Trump wants to put as the cabinet for Homeland Security, I think it is. She's a horrible person. She likes to kill her dogs, likes to kill her goats. She likes to lie and write books about her meeting foreign leaders that she never actually met, ever. Along with a long list of other things that she's just a terrible person about. Um. Oh yes, the big lie persists, ladies and gentlemen, in the Republican Party. They only accept elections when they win. Case in point, in North Carolina, there is a judge election happening for the state Supreme Court there, where the Republican candidate lost, and so they are in the courts right now trying to throw out 60,000 votes because they lost and because of technicalities or supposed technicalities. And it just goes to show how these people don't play fair. They don't want to play fair. They have no intentions of playing fair or in actual discussing ideology. They just want to win. They just want the power. And that's why you have to vote against them at every turn. Even the little guys, even the state elections, even your state courts. It doesn't matter, people, because the shit rolls from the top down. And the only way to fight it is from the bottom up. Even in our state elections. Doesn't matter if you like the person, you think that they're going to do one good thing here and there. Doesn't matter. Because it's real now. It's all the way through. Oh yeah, the weird RFK hiring papers. The people he's vetting for whenever he supposedly gets into office for all his positions in health, in the National Health Institute and different places. Weird questions about like sexual orientation, sexuality, and what kind of positions you like and different things. And it's just like, what the crap? Oh yes, and one of his closest advisors either petitioned for the government or is petitioning for them now to get rid of the polio vaccine due to safety concerns. Because polio's a good thing to have, right? Just ask Mitch McConnell. Oh yes. On the same day that Trump rang the bell at the stock exchange here recently, he was also asked a question about getting grocery prices down. And if he doesn't get the grocery prices down, will he consider that to be a failure of his presidency? And he was like, no, I don't think so. Once prices are up, it's really hard to get them down. We'll do the best we can, but he's very measured in what he said, Not like before when he was like, we're going to get them down day one. We're bringing them down. Yeah, we're doing it. Well, I don't know what's wrong with these people. Blah, blah, blah. He's a lying son of a bitch. Pure and simple. But on that same day, he also made promises to corporations to get their corporate tax rates down. And during his first term, they went from like 30 to 35%, he said, to about 20 to 25. And now he's going to get them down to like 10 or 15. Because that's what makes things better, is getting rich people's taxes lower. That's what helps the nation and the common man, Musk also wants to stop and cancel the apparently there's a study, it's an automated car crash study and reporting system that the government has been working and keeping going for the past several years, with all the talk about automated driving, self-driving cars and things like that. He wants the government to stop doing that. Of course, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that Tesla has had the vast majority of car crashes that have resulted in fatalities since this happened, which includes killing a kid when a bus was stopped in North Carolina, ran him right down, hitting a bunch of firefighters, and causing a pileup in the Lincoln Tunnel in New York 2 years ago, on the very day that they said that he himself sent out a tweet that said, now you can do automated self-driving. Now the update is out there and you can do it. That very day, some guy turned it on and caused a huge car pileup in the Lincoln Tunnel. And it's been one disaster after another since. Old Elon is also against a spending bill to keep government open through the new year, which is kind of old news at this point because they actually finally passed it the other night. But you know, why did he say a lot of it according to his little tweet stuff or whatever? Because I'm not calling it X. Okay, I'm not doing that. Um, anyway, but it was all based on crap he saw on Twitter that was all lies and exaggerations and nonsense. And he repeated all of that as the reasons why. But really, probably what the real reason was is because there were also things in there about restricting technology and certain business things that go on with advanced American tech in China, which would have most likely impacted him and his businesses. And then, of course, after Elon sent that out, then Trump had to follow with him because, you know, of course, Elon is our shadow president now. And he said that we should just shut it all down, and unless we can get a debt ceiling raise or a debt ceiling abolishment, we should just shut it all down. That way it gets shut down during Biden's presidency and not his. Of course, you know, I mean, we don't care about TSA agents getting paid or anybody in the federal government getting any pay around, you know, Christmas time. We don't care about Social Security checks getting sent out around Christmas time. We don't care about any of the essential functions of government that people depend on when it gets shut down. We don't care about how that affects people. No, we just care about how it might look to us during a 3 or 4 day 24-hour news cycle or something, whatever. Of course, there were a few Republicans that said they weren't going to vote for it because of the whole debt ceiling thing, but you know, they always folded before, so I mean, I don't know why that's going to change in the next 4 years. But anyways, in the end, they cut out all kinds of crap for the second bill, and then the Democrats voted that thing down. And then they came back with the original bill with just a few little things cut out of it, which are also terrible. One of them being federal money and aid to rebuild a huge bridge in Maryland, and another piece that had to do with child cancer research, which Elon specifically said we should cut from the federal budget because, you know, 120 some million for cancer research over 5 or 7 years for children seems like something that the federal government shouldn't really bother itself with. Oh, you know who else stood up for that? Rand Paul. Our Rand Paul, Senator of Kentucky, voted against cancer research for children. Let that sink in. But anyway, thankfully, they were able to finally get it funded. And unfortunately, there were a couple of things that got cut out. But I think the childhood cancer thing finally got funded, I believe. I'm still a little bit unsure about that myself, so I need to see what the reporting comes out with the next few days about that. But last thing I heard, I think it actually did finally get through. The fact that that was even a by your skin of the teeth moment, though, is appalling and damning in so many ways. I mean, all the billions and billions and billions of dollars you all spend on everything else from this, that, and the other. And the thing we're going to argue about is $0.1 billion for cancer research for childhood cancer victims. And yes, I said the word victims because it is, you feel like a victim when you have cancer, let alone if you are a child with cancer. And the fact that these people don't understand that, they don't get it, or it gets warped inside their psyches with all this other crap. And the fact is, if you get so warped that becomes a question, you shouldn't be there. You don't deserve to be there leading the nation if that is a question of whether or not we should do that or not. Um, oh yes, and the Matt Gaetz ethics report is going to get released. Surprisingly, Merry Christmas, I guess. Didn't see that one coming. They had another meeting, the ethics committee did, and they actually passed it, and they're going to let that one go. You're going to be able to read it. Can't wait to see all the sexual allegation trafficking crap they found up on that one. Don't know why they changed their minds on that. Maybe someone finally had a change of heart, or a 3 Christmas ghosts or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's actually going to be coming out, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, that is just almost 2 weeks worth of tomfoolery from the Republicans up on the Hill. And we've got at least a good 2 to 4 years left of this. So buckle up, I guess. Try to vote these people out every chance you get. Remember to do your bare minimum civic duty in America. You only have to show up 2 days a year. Or maybe not even that. Is it even that? I mean, at most, it's 2 days a year. Sometimes you get off years. But basically, every time there's an election, which is usually once or twice a year, it's your primaries and then the actual election. And stuff is staggered. Different states do it differently. But that's it. That's all you got to do, basically. And if you would, everyone just showed up for that and cast a vote, I really truly believe the majority in this country do not believe in this crap. We just got to get people out there. And we just got to try to actually talk some truth. And, you know, I've had a little bit of a, I was telling this to a friend of mine just the other day. I feel like I'm having a little bit of a shift. I mean, I'm still angry at the Trumpers. Don't get me wrong, the MAGA people. I feel like I might have mentioned this once before, though. I still think about the fact that they are victims too of an extremely sophisticated, decades-long propaganda campaign to train them and to train their mothers and their fathers and their grandfathers and their grandmothers, sisters and brothers and friends into thinking a certain way that is just completely contrary to both reality and morality. I mean, just simple morality. And I really don't understand the ones that call themselves Christians and MAGA. You know, there's a difference between MAGA and Republicans, and I've been using a lot of energy lately to punch sideways. I feel like, you know, I'm punching, trying to change people's minds and trying to, and it's like punching brick walls and getting bloody knuckles. It's not getting anywhere, and I'm starting to remember that my real fight, it's not with them. I mean, as much as my family can make me angry sometimes, as much as some of my friends can really make my hair stand on end sometimes, my fight isn't with them, because they go through the same crap I do. They have to work, they have to pay these high prices for all this crap, they have to make these decisions that, you know, about healthcare and all this other stuff, and they get denied insurance claims, just like I've had stuff denied, and for stupid reasons, and they're dealing with the same crap. And that's what the real enemy, that's what they want. They want us fighting each other sideways, you know? That's what they want, because as long as we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them. And I'm going to try to keep that in my mind. I'm going to try to remember that. You know, I can't say I'm perfect, and I can't say that I'm not going to still feel resentment, especially against people that should know better, that I feel like should know better. But But in reality, they're not my enemy. It's them. It's the corporations. It's these greedy corporations, these greedy multi-million and billionaires who just keep raking crap in. And now we have a multi-billionaire cabinet running the government for the next 4 years. And it's going to be a crap show. It really is. And I had it pointed out to me recently that during the Gilded Age, back of the early 1900s, 1920s, just before the Great Depression, we had a very similar economic inequality, which was through the roof. And a lot of people say the economic inequality is even worse now than it was then. And it took someone like a Roosevelt or an Eisenhower to start breaking up these corporate trusts and to start really fighting back against this oligarchy that had risen up and basically taken control of everything with the robber barons of the 1920s. But that kind of resilience, that kind of civic responsibility, it didn't come about until, unfortunately, we had suffered through decades of that crap. So, I'm hoping that people will come to their senses sooner than that, but that's one thing I'm going to try to keep in my mind. My fight is not with the Trump voter who works every day, pays their insurance, is dealing with high grocery prices, and doesn't really keep informed with crap all that much. Or if they do, they listen to all this propaganda crap, and to them it just makes sense. That's not my enemy. My enemy is the people who are pushing the propaganda crap, the people who are raising the prices of all the groceries, the people who are profiting off all the denied insurance claims, just raking that money in every month. That's the real enemy, people. It's not, I've got problems with conservatives and that way of thinking, but at least it's a reasonable position. A true conservative position is a reasonable position, and it's something that you can talk about, and it's something that you can negotiate with and find a common ground with. But you can't do that with oligarchy. You can't do that with billionaires and multimillionaires and people who only are trying to get the stock prices up. I just heard some reporting today that said the CEO that was killed in New York, he was going to a meeting apparently that morning. The meeting started on time, by the way, even though he didn't show up. I'm sure they didn't know what had happened, but still. The meeting started on time, and the very next day, they posted an ad for a CEO position that had recently become vacant. No real company morning grace or period, or we need to get our crap together. Obviously, we're pushing people too hard, or no. One of our CEOs is dead. We need a new one. Who wants to join? It's sad, but it's true. And that's the perspective I'm going to try to take on most things, I think, because it's not them. It's not them. It's them. That's the real enemy. Anyway, Spartans, let me know what you think. I'll try not to be so long next time. And if I don't see you before, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see where this train goes. All right, Spartans, you take care. Watch yourselves. I'm out.